Hello and welcome, Kent Business College learners. Look, we're talking agile prioritization. Let's be honest, sometimes it feels less like project management and more like trying to herd cats in a hurricane. But don't you worry. Today, we're going to build your ultimate toolbox so you can stop wrestling with chaos and start making seriously smart decisions.
Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? That feeling of total gridlock. You've got stakeholders throwing ideas at you left, right, and center. The team's already flat out, and you're just stuck in the middle of it all, completely overwhelmed.
But here's the thing, this isn't just a you problem. It is the eternal dilemma. But the secret, as with any good trade, isn't about working harder. It's about having the right tool for the right job. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let's start building your toolbox. Right then, let's crack open the box. First up, we've got what I like to call the decisive tools. Think of these as your get-it-done kit. They're for when you need to cut through all the noise and just make a decision. No messing about, no faffing. Okay, imagine this. You've got a deadline that's absolutely set in stone. It cannot move. But your client, bless them, keeps popping up with just one more little thing. It's a classic, right? So how do you sort the absolute essentials from the nice-to-haves without it all kicking off?
Well, you reach for the Moscow method. It is brilliantly simple. All you do is take every single idea and pop it into one of 4 buckets. What we must have to go live. What we should have, because it adds real value. What we could have, if there's time. And my personal favorite, what we won't have. At least not this time round. It's so powerful.
And just look how it works in practice for, say, an e-commerce project. Can you launch a shop that can't take money? Of course not. That's a must. An email confirmation? Well, you really should do that. It's good form. Letting customers save their card details? That's a could, a nice to have for later. And accepting cryptocurrency? Sorry, that's a firm won't for now. See? It just forces clarity. So the bottom line on Moscow? It's super fast and it gets everyone on the same page. The only real catch is you'll always get that one person who tries to claim everything as a must-have. And that's where you, as the project manager, have to be firm but fair and guide that conversation. Okay, new situation. You're a big meeting, ideas are being chucked around like confetti, and you need a really quick way to spot the absolute gold. The stuff that gives you the biggest result for the least amount of hassle. What tool do you reach for? You grab the value/effort matrix. It is a thing of beauty. You just draw 2 lines on a whiteboard and plot everything out. High value, low effort, those are your quick wins. Do them yesterday. High value, high effort, they're your big bets for the future. Low value, low effort, just fill-ins to keep things ticking over. And low value, high effort, the thankless tasks. Get them in the bin, done. Right. So far, we've been looking at tools for making internal decisions. But what about the most important person in all of this? The customer. Let's switch gears and look at tools that help us move from just doing stuff to creating real, tangible impact. So let me ask you this. It's one thing to build something that works, but how do you find those little bits of magic that make your customers genuinely happy? The features that make them go and tell their mates about you. We're not just aiming for not unhappy, we're aiming for proper delight. And for that job, we have the Kano model. Now, this is all about understanding the emotional journey of your customer. It helps you figure out which features will just meet expectations and which ones will blow their socks off. The Kano model breaks things down into 3 flavors. First, you've got your basic stuff. Think of a secure login on a banking app. No one's going to thank you for having it, but they will absolutely lose their minds if it's not there. Then you have performance features, where better is better, like a lightning-fast transaction speed. And finally, you have the delighters, the unexpected gems, like an AI tool that gives you cool insights on your spending habits. That's the wow factor. But here is the crucial thing to remember with the Kano model. What delights a customer today will become a basic expectation tomorrow. That's just how it works. So the big lesson here is that you can never, ever stop listening to your customers and innovating. Okay, we've talked about negotiation and customer feelings. But sometimes a gut feeling just isn't gonna cut it. Sometimes you need to bring out the big guns. You need cold, hard numbers. So it's time to do the maths. With these next couple of tools, we're taking all the guesswork and subjectivity out of it. We're moving from the art of prioritization and firmly into the science. This is how you back up your decisions with data. And first up is Weighted Shortest Job First, or WSJF for short. Now, don't let the complicated name put you off. Its purpose is dead simple. Which job is going to make us the most money the fastest? The formula is simply the cost of delay, which is just a fancy way of saying how much money are we losing every day this isn't live, divided by how big the job is. And check this out. Both the online payments feature and the email notifications get a score of 4.0. They deliver the most bang for their buck, so they go to the top. That massive UI redesign, it's a huge job with a relatively low cost of delay, so it only scores a 1.0. The numbers have spoken. It can wait. Okay, if WSJEF is all about the cash, our next tool, Rice Scoring, is a bit more balanced. It's another formula, but this one looks at 4 different things. How many people will it reach? How big is the impact for each person? How confident are we in our estimates? All divided by the total effort. It gives you a much more rounded view.
Let's see how that works. A cool UI animation might look nice, but it only reaches 200 people with a low impact. Its Rice score is a measly 30. But a good old-fashioned search filter? Well, that's going to reach 500 users with a massive impact. Its score is 240. The choice is obvious. Rice helps you see that.
Whew. Okay, your prioritization toolbox is now absolutely chock full of brilliant tools. But of course, the real trick, the real skill, is knowing exactly which one to pull out when you find yourself in a bit of a pickle. And that's the big question, isn't it? Well, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. Let's put it all together into one simple go-to guide. And here it is, your go-to cheat sheet. This is the slide to screenshot. Got a hard deadline that cannot be missed? It's Moscow every time. Really want to focus on making your customers happy? Get the Kano model out. Need to justify a decision to the finance department? WSJF and Rice are your best mates. Stuck in a chaotic workshop? Slap a value/effort matrix on the wall. It's that simple.
So there you are. The toolbox is built, it's packed, and it's ready to go. You've got everything you need to bring order to chaos. The only question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?